you spotted the bees yet? And did you notice the Beagle wearing glasses? This painting started with a glass of lemon tea and somehow turned into an entire little world. You can also download the wallpaper and coloring page on my Ko-fi if you'd like to explore or color this artwork yourself. So for this piece, I started with a really simple question. Flowers are usually placed in bouquets, but what if they weren't? What if they are actually growing inside a drink? That idea immediately gave me the main visual concept for this artwork. A glass pitcher filled with purple flowers and lemon slices floating among them. Right away, I had two very strong colors to work with, purple and yellow. And honestly, I already knew those two colors would carry most of the painting. At the beginning, everything looked incredibly simple. There was the pitcher, a few rough flower shapes, some lemons, and a very unfinished dog. Looking back at the early stage is funny because almost none of the personality is there yet. A glass pitcher is still empty, the flowers are only loose shapes, the beagle doesn't even have glasses yet. But I usually like starting this way, big shapes first, details later. One of my favorite parts of this artwork is definitely the dog. I choose a beagle because they already have so much personality. Even when they're just sitting there doing absolutely nothing, as the painting developed, I started adding more details around the face. The eyes became more expressive, the nose became darker, the fur started getting texture. Then came the glasses. The moment I added those pink glasses, the entire character changed. Suddenly, this wasn't just a dog, it became a dog with opinions, a dog with confidence, a dog that probably thinks it knows better than everyone else. And honestly, that's kind of perfect for a beagle. Once the main composition felt stable, I started adding small discoveries, and this is usually where I have the most fun. Tiny stamp illustrations, little tags, decorative labels, small objects hiding among the flowers. These elements aren't important to understanding the artwork, but they make the world feel lived in. They reward people who look closely, and honestly, I love making paintings that encourage visual explorations. The first glance should be simple, the second glance should reveal more, and the third glance should reveal something completely new. So originally this piece was mostly flowers and lemons, but then I started thinking about bees. Because once you have flowers and lemons, bees almost feel inevitable. Once bees appear, honey naturally follows. So I added honeycomb, honey details, and eventually several bees throughout the composition. The bees ended up becoming some of my favorite elements. They're tiny, they're delicate, and they help connect all the other themes together. Flowers, lemons, honey, nature, everything suddenly felt connected. Something that I often enjoy doing is my artwork is suggesting a person without actually showing them. In this piece, there isn't a visible female character, but there is a hand. The hand has jewelry, red nail polish, and is holding a mug. Those small details are enough to suggest someone's presence. You don't see her face, but you know she's there. I love that kind of storytelling. Sometimes showing less creates more imagination. The last stage was mostly refinement, adding texture, adding color variation, making the flowers richer, making the lemons brighter, making the bees easier to discover, and balancing the entire composition. By the end, what started as a simple flower in a drink idea became a dense little world filled with surprises. That's really what I help people enjoy. Not just the colors, not just the dog, but the feeling of discovering something new